Hi my loves, welcome to the channel Style by C. Today's tutorial will be on how to cut and sew a reversible bonnet. Do subscribe to the channel, share to friends. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. See you in our subsequent tutorials. So my loves, this is my fabric. Oh, this is the fabric I'm going to be using for this tutorial, okay? So all the sides are 30 inches, both the width, the length, all the sides are 30 inches. Now I'm going to fold it into two this way. So this is the first fold of two. Then I'm going to go ahead and make it to another fold of 4. So I'm going to make it another fold of 4. And this is what I have. Okay, so it's in a fold of 4. This way in a square shape. Now, these sides are open. These sides are open. Now I'm going to be making a cone starting from this tip that I have here. So from here now, I'm going to mark 15 inches, depending on how long you want your bonnet to be or how wide you want your bonnet to be. If you want it to be smaller, you can go ahead and make use of 11, 12, 13 inches. Okay, so it depends on how big you want yours to be. So for this tutorial, we're going to be working with 14 inches for the length of our bonnet. Now from this tip, I'm going to be making cone, mark 14 inches all the way around, starting from this tip. And this is what we have. So now I'm going to go ahead to cut this piece out. So my loves, this is my circle, and I went ahead to cut out another fabric, okay, to pair it up with the circle I have. That's the first one I have. So I'm turning out one with the other. We're making a reversible bonnet, like a two-side bonnet. All right, so now this is how wide my circle is. I'm going to find the center, one side of the circle. Okay, so I'm going to be using this part now. This is the center. From that center, I'm going to mark 4 inches upwards, 3 inches upwards from this start point. I'm going to mark 3 inches. Let's use 3 inches. Then the sideways, I'm going to mark 4 inches. 4 inches. And this is what I have. Now I'm going to be making a curve. So let me make the first row a straight row. Okay. Now I'm going to be making a curve from this 4 inches I have here. I'm going to be curving it to this 3 inches. Then from this 4 inches now, this 3 inches, which is the center piece, I'm going to be making a curve towards this other end of the 4 inches we have. And this is what we have. Now all you have to do now is to cut this out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead to cut this out. Please note that these fabrics are placed right side facing each other. Okay, so this is the wrong side of my fabric and this is the right side of my fabric. This is the right side of my fabric. Now I'm going to go ahead to cut this piece out. And this is what I have. So after doing this now, all I have to do now is I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and make a stitch using 1/2 inch. I'm going to run a stitch at this area to close this place up. Having done the stitching on the curved out we have, now I'm going to turn this piece out this way. That is, I'm turning it to the right side of my fabric, and this is what I have. So all I have to do now at this point is I'm going to go over and use my iron, press iron, to lap it. I'm going to iron it down so it will lap properly. Okay, then I'll go ahead to make a gather stitch, a loose stitch, sorry, round my bonnet. Okay, so at this point now you can decide to make your bonnet to be pleated, like you want to pleat your bonnet, you want to have a pleat on your bonnet. That is totally fine. You can decide to, oh, you want it to be gathers. That is totally fine. Okay, so my loves, this is my bonnet. I went ahead to do a hand stitching, a loose hand stitch. I use my needle and thread to do it. Okay, and this is what I have. I think it gave me that fullness I want more than using my machine to run a loose stitch, but you can still get the same results. So this is what I have, my loves. Now I'm going to measure round what I have. Okay, my head circumference So my hair circumference is 21 inches, and I'm going to multiply it by 3 to get the length of my strap. What I'm going to, the band that is going to be on the head. Now, the band is the choice. How bold you want your band to be. You want it to be 2 inches on a fold, 3 inches, 4 inches, depending on how bold you want yours to be. For this, I used just 2 inches, equivalent to 2 inches for my strap. Okay, for the boldness of my strap, that is on a fold, 2 inches on a fold. Now, from the centerpiece of my fold, since I have 21 inches to be my head circumference, when I divide it by 2, I'm going to be left with 11.5 inches. And this is it here. I went ahead to mark it at this point. From the centerpiece, I marked 11.5. Then from this point, I also marked 11.5. Then I went ahead to run a stitch to close up this area. That is from where I have my 11.5, where it stops, I closed up the other end. The same thing with this other area. Now I'm going to turn this out. I'll turn this piece out. Please note that my strap is not that bold, okay? So you can decide to make yours very bold, very pronounced. But mine is not bold, okay? So this is what I have. Now I'm going to go ahead to iron this down to give me that silk relaxed look. Okay, so I'll iron this down. Then to iron it down, what I have to do is I'm going to be folding in these 2 ends to inwards. All right, fold this end, fold its end inside, then go ahead and iron it down. Okay, so having done this, now I'm going to introduce back my bonnet. Now we're going to measure what we have around here. At least we should have about 22, 23 inches. All right. So at this point now, I just have 20 inches. So all I have to do is to loosen up my stuffs to get the stuff I want. Okay, I'll adjust this. So now I'm going to be introducing my strap. This is the centerpiece of my strap. I'm going to fold in this into 2 this way, get the centerpiece of this area. Now I'm going to place it center to center, in between this way. I'm going to place this bonnet in between this strap that I have, and I'm going to stitch on it till I get to the other end of where I have this opening earlier. So my loves, this is what it looks like. This is the inner, and this is the other side of our bonnet.